Was deleted. Hold on. One second, folks. Just getting it live on Facebook. There seem to be some technical difficulties. Let me get it right. Get it right. Let's make sure we're good. Facebook. Yes, sir. We're live. Mic check. Facebook, we in. Make sure we're good on Facebook. For those of you who do not know, wherever you're listening to this from, whether you're on the Move Swiftly podcast, wherever, or if you're online, we go live Monday, pretty much every day. Every day now, yeah, actually, I'm going to start getting in the habit of saying that every day. But the primary platforms, if you want to catch it live, are LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube is where it primarily goes. So let me just make sure we're good on YouTube. And then YouTube is where it primarily goes. That's primarily where I go live. So here we are, another Wintrepreneur Wednesday. Oh, baby, it's a Wintrepreneur Wednesday where you can see what we're talking about. So all week we've been breaking down this concept of believing and believing in something, simply believing something and believing in something. And today I have an incredible feature. It's a guy by the name of Jim Weber, who he was the CEO of this company, Brooks Running, for a long time, and he led to the resurgence of the brand this past 2 weeks. Like I was mentioning on Monday, me and my girl, we went to St. Augustine. On the way back, we stopped at these outlets, and I was stubbornly, again, I've been needing running shoes because I'm a runner. I've been needing running shoes for like a couple months, but I'm really frugal, excessively frugal, as I've been called. And I was kind of procrastinating on buying it, but I did see a pair of Brooks. I bought them. So it sparked in me to feature the story of Brooks and the book that I actually read this book. I got it all highlighted up, and we're going to go over it a little bit throughout today's article. But we're merging Wintrepreneur Wednesday with the story of Jim Weber and what he was able to do to research the brand and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be breaking down today. So before I get started, before I get moving, let me just introduce myself to anybody that's new to this world, new to my channel, new to what I'm all about. First and foremost, my name is Aswand Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, soon-to-be 6-time published author and educator. Created this whole brand, this whole business, this whole concept, this whole philosophy, this whole mindset that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they have a staff and a group of employees that moves as cohesively and as progressively and has the same mentality of a championship high school or youth football team. That's what we do over here in a nutshell. Let me just get through a few announcements real quick, and then we will get let me get through a few announcements real quick, and then we'll get right into what we will be discussing today. We will actually be going. So this is the article. Make sure you follow me on medium.com. It's medium.com/@MoveSwiftly. This is the article that we're going to be going over today, where there's going to be some excerpts from this very book. Again, all about Jim Weber and how he was able to build or research, bring back the whole Brooks running culture. Cannot wait to dive into that with you all in a little bit, but let me just get through very quick announcements so you guys understand how you can move forward and come deeper into my world. First things first, business owners, as I mentioned, here to serve you. We are here to serve you. All right, we work from a very simple formula here. It's establishing measurables plus a professional distance, and that creates the productive environment that you need and you want. You need and want, all right? And that you need it and you damn sure want it, all right? You need to have that productive environment or your business will fail and fail horribly. You'd be very upset. Be very sad for you. It'd be a sad day for you when it folds because you didn't create the productive environment. You didn't implement the correct systems and the correct formula. All right. So I create a 10-step process that you can use right now to simply click where you see on the screen, put your information in, and you will get a free guide from me to start utilizing some of the things. Now, it's not going to solve all your problems, but it's at least going to get you thinking in the right direction. Next thing, if you are in the West Palm Beach area and you are interested in boxing lessons, be sure you get in contact with me. This is what you're going to be looking like. Right here, you're going to be looking at jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross. You're going to be moving around. Bang, 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 jab, cross, jab, cross. All right. Simply go down here. You can pick what time works for you. Come out for a free session. If it's something that you want to move forward with, we can discuss what your options are and all that kind of stuff. Next thing, if you're like, look, if you're the business owner that I like and you're like, and you are the people that I want to work with, and you're like, bump all that free stuff, let me know what I can pay for now. Let me know what I can pay for today, because I'm ready to develop a staff that is moving the way Aswand's moving, has that energy, has that consistency, has that ability to really just show up and do their job every single day, regardless of how many people they like or don't like. Doesn't really matter. Just simply go to makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. The shop now button, you can go and purchase books. The workshops are right there available for you. We could talk about a payment plan, a payment structure, however you want to do it. All of that is available at makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. It is common knowledge. Turn your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose, whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time. There's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswand, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. All of that available on makeyourmove.com. Whew. All right, here we go. Let's get right into Wintrepreneur Wednesday. All right, Wintrepreneur Wednesday, real quick. Let me give a brief definition of the term Wintrepreneur. Again, a term that we dive into every single Wednesday, and I've coined, when I tell you at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the intro, that I am a 5-time, soon to be 6-time published author, is because book number 6 is going to be breaking down this very word that you see right there on the screen. Wintrepreneur. I know you're in your head, you're thinking, okay, I've heard the term entrepreneur, and I may or may not have heard the term intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is the person that has a job but is also has an entrepreneurial vision, and they've been blessed enough, like me, to find a job that it is in somewhat a really, really close alignment to their entrepreneurial vision, and they're just working both and trying to balance it. It's kind of like a balancing act between both their entrepreneurial vision and the job that's paying them consistently, and they're just working towards building that connection. That right there takes up pretty much all of my mental between this and building a life with the girl I'm seeing now. That pretty much takes up all my mindset and stuff like that in terms of just entrepreneuring and building out your personal life. A lot of that is what has pretty much that describes 2025 for me. So we're at what I do. So the reason that what I do, again, if you're new to this world, let me just break it down for you for a little bit. I do a longer live stream that's 35 minutes long, but I also have an article that's written about about the thing that I'm going to be talking about to keep me from going off on tangents. So I was asked why I go through the article live the way I do. Is because when I get to speaking on certain subjects, I can go off topic. I can, again, I've been doing this workshop thing. I've been doing the speaking thing now for quite some time, to where I'm good on my feet. I'm good to, if something goes wrong. I mean, I remember there was one time there was a workshop I was hosting and the PowerPoint blew. So I had to figure out how to keep everybody engaged, even though the PowerPoint wasn't working. All that kind of stuff. So in order to keep me focused and to help you all, to get you guys something, give you something from listening, the Medium articles help to keep me on task. Now, I will tell you, because I know Medium's not as popular of a platform as a YouTube or as a Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever it is. If you do follow me on Medium.com, a lot of the books, a lot of the stuff I write about will be repurposed into an actual book format, a physical book format. So if you follow me on Medium, there will be some discounts available for you to get book packages, especially when Wintrepreneur, How to Be a Wintrepreneur comes out. So all that being said, let's jump right into the article today, and then I'll be breaking down all of the concepts, all the things that I read and come up with that need further explanation. All right, so first things first, Wintrepreneur Wednesday, Jim Weber and the power of purposeful focus. Purposeful focus here, folks, all right? This week's feature from the Move Swiftly sports marketing platform isn't just about business strategy. It's about conviction. It's about knowing what you stand for, staying in your lane, and turning that clarity into consistent results. But before we dive into the most inspiring one of the most inspiring case studies in modern business, Brooks Running and its former CEO, Jim Weber, let me set the stage. All right. So again, I already kind of said this, but I'll read it directly so you guys understand. Exactly how these shoes, like that was the first time that was before I started running in them, right? So the first time I opened up the box, I made sure I snapped a photo of it, and made sure it was what was that thing? It's portrait. I made sure my iPhone was on portrait mode, snapped a picture of it because I absolutely have fallen in love with these shoes. I've fallen in love with the brand. I've fallen in love with everything it's about. I've fallen in love with just me as a runner. Now, again, I'm going to be a little biased when I say this because I'm a runner. I run every single morning. As you guys can see in the Move Swiftly Thoughts, I run every single morning. And when you have a brand, a company that's focused on the activity that I get so much joy out of, I just love their brand. I've learned so much from them that, again, and you're going to read an article, but again, they roll out a sponsorship deal, man. They rolled out some endorsement deal. I'm here for it. So Brooks, get at me. I signed up to be an ambassador. I signed up, applied to be an ambassador for the company. So I could be in something like within the next couple of months, I could be, fully endorsing some of the Brooks Running Company because I just love what they're about. All right. So a pit stop that shifted my thinking. It was the final day of our 4th of July trip to St. Augustine. My girlfriend, persistent as ever. I mean, all morning. Let me tell you, all morning, I personally am trying to avoid going to the damn outlets because I just don't like shopping. But as persistent as humanly possible. Go stop at the business. Go stop at outlets. Go stop at outlets. Like, ah. So anyway, as persistent as ever. Insisted we stop by the outlets on our way home. Me, I hate shopping for clothes. I hate malls, department stores, all of it. But when you're in a committed relationship, you learn to love and maybe slightly resent the persistence of someone who truly knows you. Okay, again, she knows me well at this point, so you understand that the intention was exactly what it was. It was a great intention. Again, I went from being annoyed to actually really, really getting something out of that trip to the outlets. We didn't just stop for clothes and stuff like that. It was just it turned actually into a lesson in terms of what you should be paying for, how to maybe pay for something now and save later. Also, it actually turned into a very, very quality experience that we had. So again, I'm the first one to admit, hey, this got wrong, or this person was right. I'm the first one. I'm always into that stuff. So long story short, I gave in, and I'm glad I wrote about this. So I'm just repeating kind of what I just said, but so you guys have it in the written form, I'm going to read it directly. Long story short, I gave in, and I'm so glad I did, because somewhere between racks and discounted polos and clearance athletic gear, I stumbled upon a new pair of Brooks running shoes. Right price, right fit, bought them on the spot. That single purchase reminded me of why Brooks is near the top of my endorsement dream list. Yes, Under Armour might have a slight edge, but only a slight edge. It reminded me of Jim Weber, the man who made Brooks what it is today. So let me just make sure I clarify what I mean by that. As when I can pull up, I think I still have the thumbnail right here. It's a couple weeks ago. It was on a Wintrepreneur Wednesday. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if it's right here in my archives. Give me a second. So every Wednesday there's a certain feature, and I believe it's, come on, it has to be. I might have deleted it. I swear, yeah, it's right here. It is right here. Let me see if I find one. All right. So this one, Wintrepreneur Wednesday. As you can see, if I had my dream, like the dream situation, right? I often get asked, what's the one company that I would work with if I can choose any company in the world to work with? And my answer normally, again, and it still is somewhat, right? It still somewhat is my answer, is Under Armour. All right, Under Armour, the founder of Under Armour is a guy named Kevin Plank, and he grew up right in the area that I grew up in. And, you see, again, the football player who went and started a clothing brand, and you see the big things he's doing. So it's so much alignment, so many things, so much synergy between what I do and what Under Armour is all about. But that was the football player Aswand that's turned entrepreneur. But if there was a close second, if there was a blink of an eye, Brooks Running Company, Brooks, especially after reading this book, Running with Purpose, How Brooks Outpaced Goliath Competitors to Lead the Pack by Jim Weber, CEO of Brooks. If there was a company that was like right there, it would easily be Brooks Running Company in terms of my endorsement dream list, like the companies that would endorse what I'm doing and work with. Brooks is right there. Here's why. Let's break it all down. Yeah, so I bought the shoes, and it reminded me that, hey, I haven't, as a Wintrepreneur, I haven't even done a feature on this guy in this book and what he's all about. So, okay, the man who bet on the run. Jim Weber took over as CEO of Brooks Running Company in 2001 when the company was struggling and on the brink of collapse. But instead of trying to be everything to everyone, Weber made a bold decision. Brooks would focus exclusively on one thing: running. Forget casual wear, forget competing with Nike and Adidas across every vertical. Brooks chose a niche and owned it. In 2022, Weber published a powerful book titled Running with Purpose, How Brooks Outpaced Goliath's Competitor. Goliath? Let me get some water. All right. Forget about competing with Nike and Adidas across every vertical. Brooks chose a niche and owned it. In 2022, Brooks published a powerful book titled Running with Purpose, How Brooks Outpaced Goliath Competitors to Lead the Pack. In it, he outlines how Brooks leaned into its identity as a brand for runners only. That wasn't a trend-following move. It was a deliberate strategic repositioning, and it worked. By narrowing their focus, Brooks didn't just survive, they scaled. They grew profit margins. They outperformed industry expectations without needing to burn billions in marketing spend. All right. Hear me. This is a big one. This is a big one, especially for us as Wintrepreneurs, is ostensibly what we are, is we're making it so the things that are already in place, whether it's the job that's already in place, whether it's a company that you're endorsing that's already in place, we're making it so decision makers are making better decisions with their money, with the money that's coming in, with the profits that's coming in. So Jim Weber comes into Brooks on the brink of collapse. And he has, again, I strongly, I don't have time to talk about it today, but I strongly recommend you guys go look up Jim Weber and do some deep dives into some of his keynotes, some of his podcast appearances, some of the things that he's done. He walks you through exactly how he was able to say to himself, you know what, I'm going to come to Brooks and I'm going to only focus on runners. I see a company that is trying to be, I'm not going to try to be Nike. I'm not going to try to be Adidas. I'm not going to try to be Under Armour. I'm not going to try to be these brands that are solely focused on making it, focused on just creating revenue or doing a bunch of different things for a bunch of different people. I'm going to take that marketing spend that they would spend and focus on one thing, one group of people, and we're going to grow our profit margins from that. All right. So let's dive deeper into it. The power of margins and a message, the power of margin and message. All right. One of my favorite excerpts is from chapter 3, titled Running Only. On page 49, Weber writes, to address the market, you need all price points to go from $30 to $150 or more per pair. No major brand had ever just focused on one segment. Our bold announcement about premium running did not sound smart to the industry, and yet it was the smartest move they could have made. Brooks proved that focus creates leverage, that you don't need to outspend giants if you outserve a clearly defined community. Ooh, we got to say that again. Brooks proved that focus creates leverage, that you do not need to outspend the giants if you outserve a clearly defined community. So the question has to become at this point, who is your clearly defined community? Who is the community of people that you are clearly defining? All right. For me, it's clear. Business owners of 20 or more employees that have business owners of 20 or more employees that are sports fans or willing to learn sports. All right. Those are the people that I serve every single day, and they struggle with turnover every single day. Now, again, you don't have to. I've loosened it a little bit because meeting the significant other I have now, she's helped me in the way of not just focusing on people that know sports, because she isn't someone that's really knows the sports world, but she's willing to learn. So the person who's a business owner of 20 or more employees struggling with turnover and is at least opened enough to learn about sports if it's going to be beneficial to his or her business. That's my community. Those are the people. And again, if you've listened to me over the period of time, you realize how much that has changed over time, because I'm learning about myself. Again, just like this trip that we took to the outlets. Again, it is a process in terms of, developing, because you have it in your own head who you want to serve and who you want to be, who your avatar is. But then certain people come into your life, whether they come in as friends, whether they come in as professionals, they come in in a romantic relationship, whether they come in as kids, doesn't matter. They're coming into your life and you're learning more about who you can serve, and your mind is expanding. That's the way it should feel. All right. So as we're here now, giants if you have a clearly defined community. Actually, let me read that line again. So Brooks proved that focus creates leverage, that you don't need to outspend giants if you outserve a clearly defined community. They showed up for runners, only runners, and created a culture that resonated with people like me, who lace up their shoes every day and go chase clarity. All right. So and I already spoke about what the entrepreneur aspect is. Let me just go right to page 49, because I want to give you guys some more context of this. That's why I made sure I have the book handy. Page 49. Yes, right here. So you see it. It's all highlighted. Again, the book that I have, it's highlighted up, is easily one of the best books I've read. But the part, I have a whole section here, a whole paragraph highlighted. It said stories like Super Jock and Jill are curators of the very best running gear. They are gatekeepers and the acceptors of running in their community, knowing what we had to earn their trust in both products and our reliability to serve demand. We begin to treat them like kingmakers. So what he's referring to is, because he was able to focus on the premium of runners, now it was about sporting goods, like local sporting goods stores, local shoe companies that were going to be able to sell his product at a premium. So when I talk about, again, the part that I put in the article, let me read it. Our constrained philosophy was to focus only on premium running, turning a narrow focus into a strength. Remember that we had previously walked away from a non-premium running to concentrate on performance running, eliminating 50% of our product line and 40% of our retail partnerships. Our running partners worried about Brooks' departure from conventional wisdom, which originated when shoe brands owned their own factories. Back then, they needed to play across categories and price points, spreading risk over many sports categories and seasons to keep their factories and employees busy. If you choose just running, how do you survive the fashion cycles as running declines or basketball rises? To address the market, you need all price points to go from $30 to $150 or more a pair. No major brand had ever just focused on one segment. Our bold announcement about premium running did not sound smart to the industry, like I just mentioned. Wow, it's no longer necessary to manufacture a full array of sports shoes year round. Companies must have precise quality control. Large brands learn this the hard way when they fail to focus across the entire supply chain on consistent fit. Critical to runners. Early in our running strategy focus, retailers told us the popular Nike Pegasus running shoe fit differently, depending on which of its many factories produced it. We'd seen that movie before. Runners become loyal to specific shoe styles. If you mess up the fit, you risk losing them forever. Brooks made the decision to invest heavily in wear testing. We now have a community of 100,000 runners who give us real-time feedback on every shoe across multiple sizes before we hit commercialization. We get a ton of feedback, some good, some bad, but always constructive. My foot felt like I was sailing. I never had to break them in. I put them on and I could run miles in them. This is how you know when the shoes fit great. A specialty store retailer told us that we have the factor, right? People put on the shoe and stand up from the stool and just say and when the shoe doesn't seem quite right, we listen. I need more stability. The shoe wasn't flexible enough. More room in this toe box. All of this, okay? Right here and running with a purpose. So as you can see, they mentioned Nike and they mentioned the Nike Pegasus and all that. But when they were able to say, okay, they heard some things there, we're gonna focus our brand strictly on these people that enjoy running, get the testers, get the feedback, work with these local shoe stores. That's when they started to move themselves up in the marketplace, because they were able to charge more specifically for the running shoes and spend a whole lot less in marketing and what Nike does and all that kind of stuff. That is an absolute huge lesson for you as a business owner. You as a business owner, you have to make these decisions. These are huge and major decisions that you have to make, because your role, your job, your focus needs to be on how to make sure your profits are coming in and you're maximizing all the things that you need to do. So in many ways, it's about narrowing your focus to that clearly defined community and then building from there. That requires you betting on yourself. That requires you taking a risk. That requires you going against the grain of what seems to be business or what seems to be a major thing. You have to have that they kind of see the forest before the trees. So you got to be able to think 10, 15 years down the line and put your focus there. All right. So let's get back into the article as I close you guys out. What makes this a wintrepreneur story? Let's revisit our definition. All right. A wintrepreneur is someone who has a clear entrepreneurial vision for their life and a job that pays them every 2 weeks aligned with that vision. Jim Weber didn't try to reinvent the footwear industry. He didn't try to outflash the competition. He simply aligned his role at Brooks with a focused, sustainable vision and executed. That one's huge. All right. I'm going to highlight it so you guys see it. Simply aligned. It's simple. It's a very, the words simple and easy are two different things. All right. Simple and easy are not the same. Simple is just simplifying what you're going to do. Easy is just, taking the easy road out and just doing what's easy. Simple in many ways can get misconstrued as it's not going to be hard. No, simple. There's some things that you do that are simply done, but simple is consistently. When you're consistently doing some simple things, it becomes hard to stay on task. That's where the definitions of the word get misaligned. But he simply aligned his role at Brooks with a focused, sustainable vision. So it made it simple because he knew in his head, I'm putting my focus on runners. I'm putting my focus on runners. I'm putting my focus on runners. Putting my focus on this premium. I'm putting my focus on the premium running shoe and getting the feedback from the people who run every single day. And that's what he focused on. All right. And then he just simply executed. All right. And then I don't want to just give him the credit, but this is a feature on him. But he and the company and the people that worked underneath him and all the folks, again, make sure you go look them up and do your own research. But the company executed. And that's what we do here at Move Swiftly. All right. Whether it's leadership workshops, athletic development, or strategic content like the daily Move Swiftly thought, everything we produce is filtered through one core question. Does this move the mission forward? Does it move the mission forward where the goal has always been to my own school, not mine, I hate saying mine, but they build a school around Move Swiftly sports marketing and be something that athletes be using the game to teach some major business lessons and major life lessons, and using the game of sports, using what we do in the sports world to teach these lessons. I had this conversation with the principal. So I teach at a school named the Center for Creative Education, and the thing about this school is it's an art integrated education. Now, the foundation school has only been around for about 5 years at this point, but the company and the organization has been around for 3 decades. And it was really started because, as with the public school system, when there's budget cuts, the two things that go, for the most part, the two things that pretty much go when budget cuts start coming are art and physical education. Art and PE are usually the two things that are wiped out the budget. And this school was built off integrating the art aspect into the regular curriculum, which is a very, very unique concept. And I was just having that conversation, like, art and physical education need to be incorporated in the actual curriculum because as you can see, it's hard to, it engages learning in a way that's going to benefit younger people. All right. So as we close out now, final thought, focus is the new flex. I like that. Focus is the new flex. Brooks Running didn't try to be Nike. They didn't chase hype. They showed up consistently. Hear me on that word. Consistently for the people who needed them most. That's the essence of a wintrepreneur. You want to grow, narrow your focus. You want to lead, serve your segment better than anyone else. Next week we'll be building on this idea. I'll be having you. So next week I'll give you a little bit. So tomorrow we're just going to kind of recap what we talked about throughout the week. If you missed Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be recapping that and today. But next week we're going to go into more so, how do we start conversations now? What's the best way of starting conversations? And I'll have a lot of backstories and a lot of things that I'll be telling you about. So that's next week. All right. So next week we'll keep building on this idea as we prep for a huge lineup of live streams, brand partnerships, original content across the Move Swiftly world. Keep running with purpose. Let's keep running with purpose and continue to move on. Hashtag Wintrepreneur Wednesday. Hashtag Jim Webb. Hashtag Brooks Running. Hashtag Running with Purpose. Hashtag Move Swiftly. Hashtag Leadership Lessons. Hashtag Brand Focus. All right. So again, if you are interested in moving, but first of all, let me do one more plug for the book. Again, I strongly recommend you guys go get a copy. Let me just make sure we get that. Strongly recommend you guys go get a copy of this book. So I've explained to you guys, it was the outlets. I saw some Brooks that were right price, and it got me thinking, hey, let me pull out this book again. As I read it, it's all highlighted and stuff like that. But I strongly recommend you guys go get it. It's a really, really fantastic read, and it'll teach you how to. The Ford was actually written by Warren Buffett, as you see. and it will teach you how to narrow out your focus, and it will help a ton of you in terms of what moves you need to be making to maximize your profits. And this is not something that I recommend you attempt doing on your own. All right. This is not something you need outside help. You need people coming in from the outside to really take a look at what you got going on and just give you the honest feedback about where it is. That's where I come in. All right. That's where I come in. That's where my expertise lies. I can come in, implement, and teach you how to make sure the system that you're running is leading to more constructive employees and more constructive retention rates. All right. All of that, as I said before, it's on makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.